So welcome to your RetireRehire info session video. Thank you so much for joining us today. You might hear this program called all sorts of things: phased retirement, return to work. You might be unsure if this program is for you, or you might already know this program is definitely for you. Either way, this webinar will fill you in on all the details.
Hello.
All right, just so you know, we really do exist. My name is Becky Tomaszewski, and I'm a client manager here at ESI. I've worked here about 3.5 years now. I absolutely love this program because my mother was a lifetime educator back in Michigan before they had this program in Michigan. So the fact that you can get some extra income before you retire for good, I think is absolutely amazing. And of course, with ASRS, it's not only school districts, but anybody in public service. So we are so excited for this opportunity and so glad that you joined us this evening.
Absolutely. And my name is Serena English, also a client manager at ESI. And Becky and I started on the same day. So I've been here about 3.5 years as well. I also have educators in my family, and my best friend since I've known since the day she was born, both educators in Florida. And again, they don't have this program available to them there. So it's definitely something Becky and I both feel really strongly about. We really enjoy these webinars because we get to share the information with you and teach you how you can benefit from it. So thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, absolutely. All right, we're going to go ahead and turn our cameras off again, just so that you can focus on the information, but we'll pop in and see in a little bit. Before we talk Retire Rehire, we want to take a moment to thank you for the work you do. People who work in education and public service change the community for the better. The work you have done over the years has touched the lives of hundreds of community members. We are so grateful for your service. When we start to think about retirement and all of the complications, it can feel like this, right? So many decisions to make and so many things to take into consideration, like your retirement benefit with ASRS and the 7 annuities. With that mess, who wouldn't want to let retirement be the end of the road? But with Retire Rehire, we are here to provide the roadmap to an open road for a smooth ride. So let's go on a little road trip together. It wouldn't be a proper presentation without learning objectives. Let's talk about what we'll be covering today. First of all, we want you to get to know ESI. The idea of retiring from your current employer and coming to work for a private company might be a little bit daunting, so we want to make sure that you feel comfortable with us. Second, we'll explore return to work with ESI's Retire Rehire program. And third, we want to make sure that you know the next steps if Retire Rehire is right for you. Last but definitely not least, we want you to feel connected to our ESI family and know that you can call us for help. All right, on to our first objective. Who is ESI? Well, the first thing you should know is we're experienced. We were founded in 1999 and we're local. We were founded by 3 educators in Cottonwood, Arizona. We're going to tell you more about that a little bit later. We are founded on return to work programs, but also provide SubSource, a substitute staffing service with over 5,000 substitutes in over 60 districts across Arizona. And of course, Retire Rehire. We have about 1,000 retirees per year in over 140 school districts, college, and municipalities that join us. Our mission: with integrity and heart, we support and serve those who educate and serve our community. We all know what happens when a classroom doesn't have a teacher or when an experienced employee retires and takes with them all of those years of knowledge. That's one reason we love Retire Rehire. It keeps the most experienced staff where we need them most. That is what's truly at the heart of our mission: to fill classrooms and public service with great staff, ultimately improving the quality of education for all students and making our communities stronger. Here at ESI, we're people just like you. Here are a few of the 30 people who work in our headquarters who care about education and our communities. We all feel very fortunate to help care for our state's wonderful employees. Let's explore our next objective. Why do you think Retire Rehire exists? It starts with the tax code. With retirement plans, the IRS makes the rules. According to the IRS, anytime you retire and take a pension, you must separate from service. Each state defines what that separation of service looks like. Now, keep in mind as I explain this slide to you that this is what life was like before ESI. Here in Arizona, state law requires anyone who retires from ASRS who wants to continue working for an ASRS employer must abide by the 2020 rule, which means they must limit their work to no more than 20 hours per week for 20 weeks or less per year, or stay out of work for 12 consecutive months. In addition, there are forms to complete, and you must be careful to stay in compliance or risk penalties to your retirement benefit. Why? This is to meet the IRS and state of Arizona separation of service requirement. Now, again, these were your only two options before ESI. The way ESI was born back in 1999 is a great way to understand how this works. A superintendent was in the middle of building a school, but he reached peak retirement. He did the math and figured out he would make almost as much retired as working. He wanted to retire, but the board needed him to finish the big build. Why couldn't he just collect his pension and keep working? Yep, separation of service. So he founded a company, hired himself, and leased himself back to the district. This way, he could keep working, no separation of service required since his company was not an ASRS employer, and he could still collect his pension. And ESI was born. As I'm sure you guessed, lots of other school employees joined him. And here we are today, serving not only school employees, but community colleges and municipalities too. We've served over 12,000 retirees just like you with Retire Rehire. Definitely more than 1,200 in the last 22 years. 12,000. A big question we get asked, when is the right time to do this? How do I decide when to retire, start collecting my pension, and join Retire Rehire? Most importantly, it's a personal decision, and each person's situation is unique. That being said, a good place to start is with your retirement benefit. You have worked so hard for your benefit. Please take this time to get to know how to get the most from it. This is your homework if you haven't done it yet. ASRS, like most pension plans, is complex. We will not cover ASRS details during this presentation. There are so many variables, like those 7 different annuities I mentioned earlier. We could not possibly put this all together for you in one presentation. Thankfully, the folks at ASRS know it is plenty to consider and have set up a few resources for you. We strongly encourage you to take advantage of these resources to fully understand your hard earned benefits. So, if you see on the screen, the first is their website, azasrs.gov. When you go on the website, you can create your secure account, and that's where you can see your estimated retirement benefit and also apply to retire. They also offer webinars. I don't believe they're doing the in person meetings just yet because of COVID. They're still working on bringing those back, but you can definitely give them a call. You can reach out to them. There's just so much information on their website. And their customer service is amazing. They're so helpful. I've actually called a few times myself just to better understand how it all works. And they were extremely helpful. Remember, you only retire from ASRS once, and in most cases, those decisions will stay with you for the rest of your life. So please do that homework. What we can help with today are some things to keep in mind while making this important decision. First thing to keep in mind, are you close to a retirement pay step? For example, 19, 24, 29 years? If so, then probably not, as each step indicates an increase in your retirement benefit. What about if you were just promoted or know a promotion is coming? Again, probably not. Why? Your benefit is based on a 3 to 5 year average, so you might want to make the most of that increase in pay and wait for the next year to take that retirement exit. Do you have 31 years of service? Then it's likely a yes. Once you get near the top of the benefit scale, you might be further ahead by taking that return to work exit and getting that extra pay now instead of waiting. To really know if it's the right time, there are two things you need to consider. One, you need to know ASRS, and two, you need to know your personal financial situation. That could include debt, income, insurance, mortgage, credit. Knowing these two important things will help to make things clear for you. These are big decisions and personal ones that take a lot of thought and preparation. Here at ESI, we cannot offer financial advice as we are not qualified to answer those questions, nor recommend a financial advisor. If you are in need of a financial advisor, we suggest you reach out to those you trust to help you in finding the right person to help you manage your ASRS pension benefits. All right, lots of information. How we doing out there, Serena? Any questions?
Yeah, actually, we've got um, questions right from the get go. So
Oh,
somebody's really came prepared to ask some good ones here. So first one here is as an ASRS retiree and an ESI employee, will I have access to ESI's 401k? And yes, you will have access to the 401k during your contract period with ESI. So that's a good question.
it's a great question.
Mhm. Next one was I was told by my HR department that I will be eligible for 301 funds and retention bonuses. Who pays those special items, ESI or my district? You're getting a little bit ahead of us now. But I do want to answer this now because I know some folks like to ask their questions and then they may need to go a little bit early. So I don't want to make you wait until we get to that section, just in case. So yes, if you're eligible for 301 and retention bonuses, those would come through ESI. So the district submits that information to us and it comes in your paycheck. Another great question.
It is a great question. Yeah, and to if I may add to that, while you are on ESI, the district will make sure and add any additional stipends or whatnot to your ESI contract, so it will be paid as an ESI employee. That keeps you separate from the district. That way, you don't get any pay at all from the district, so there's no confusion with ASRS and your pension.
Very important to keep
Yeah,
that very separate. Yes.
yeah.
Another one here. As an ESI employee, can I continue in my current role at my same school? And yes, that is typically the goal, is to keep you in the same position. That's what most people do. Now, some people do change positions when they come back. And that's something that you would, discuss with the district. But in probably what, 95% of cases, Becky, folks are in their exact same role, doing the exact same thing when they're on ESI.
Yes. Yep. That is typically the case. If there's something where maybe a school is closing or a position is changing within a municipality, then it would really be up to HR and a supervisor to find a different role for you. But typically, folks come back in their exact same position. Good questions. These are great.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. I'll get a little bit more information on this one. And then someone is asking about the percentage of the current salary. I'm not sure what district. So any district specific questions I will follow up with after the webinar, because we do have folks from multiple districts. I can't answer percentages of returning rate at this point, but we're going to discuss that a little bit later too. So
Yeah.
I think we're good for now.
All right. Sounds good. We'll pop
Mhm.
back off and see you again in a little bit.
All right.
Great questions, everybody. Okay. And one of those questions was percentage of pay. So folks that are maybe not familiar with the program might have thought, what are they talking about? So let's talk about how much do I get paid? What is my new paycheck? All right. So currently, you receive your paycheck from your current employer with your current rate of pay. Once you retire and join ESI's Retire Rehire program, you'll have two sources of income. Every 2 weeks, you get paid from ESI. And just a quick note about that, since we work with over 140 different employers across the state, your payday will likely differ from your current employer's payday. Okay, so your payday might be a little bit different than your colleagues at work, but you will still get paid every 2 weeks, and you will receive your payday calendar when you start working with us. So you will know exactly when the payday starts and when it ends and when you can expect to be paid. Okay. And then once a month, you are going to start receiving your ASRS pension benefit. Because remember, to be on ESI, you have to retire from ASRS. So all that money you've been putting in, now you're going to start getting it back. If you are hourly, you will likely need to fill out an ESI timesheet. We will be happy to assist you with this new process when the time comes. Okay, I know, but how much is the amount? When you received a reminder email from us, we attached a worksheet that looks like this. If you don't have it in front of you, it's okay. Please grab a pen and paper and take some notes, and you can fill in your worksheet later. We're going to focus on the top two boxes in order to help you figure out your estimated monthly retire rehire pay. In the first box, you'll see estimate number 1. This is your estimated ASRS monthly retirement benefit. You must use the ASRS website to get this estimate. If you have already done that, you can write the amount in the box. If you don't have that information yet, you know where to go to get it, and you can add it later. In the second box, you'll see estimate number 2. This is your employer's retire rehire plan. Each employer determines their own retire rehire parameters, including the percentage of your exiting salary when you join ESI. As we have folks from multiple districts and public service entities on with us today, we are unable to tell you that amount. Please consult your HR department for this percentage so you can calculate your estimated monthly pay. The sum of these two amounts will give you a rough idea of how much your new monthly retire rehire pay will be. We say this is a rough estimate because your taxes and health insurance amounts will likely change, and you will no longer be paying your 12% ASRS contribution. In the third box of your worksheet, you see special pay and time off. Some of these may be specific to school districts, so please bear with me. Supplemental pay, that's often for special duties like chaperoning, coaching, or after school activities. Performance pay, for certified district staff, this could be 301 pay, or for other jobs or public service employees, this could be other types of bonuses if applicable. Insurance support. Some employers provide insurance support or the ASRS insurance subsidy. Leave and holiday pay. Employers can declare different PTO and holiday pay for their return to work retirees. Application period. Some employers only allow you to apply during certain times of the year, where others allow you to apply anytime. And time limit. This is typically 1 year only to cover that 1 year separation of service, or for some, you may stay on with ESI with employer approval. And again, since this is an open webinar, we don't have the specifics for each of the different employers that we work with. So you would definitely want to check with HR for that information. We know it's a lot to consider. Knowing this new ESI plus ASRS pay estimate, plus your personal financial situation, will help you figure out when it's the right time for you. The crossroads everyone considers: the additional cash now, retire and use ESI, or a higher ASRS retirement benefit if you keep working and contributing. But more importantly, you've got two decisions to make: financial and emotional. It can seem a bit scary, probably about 30% financial and 70% fear of change. In our experience here at ESI from helping thousands of retirees, the biggest concern is that of change and the fear of change. We're here to help you figure this all out.
All right. So a lot more information there.
Yeah, a lot more.
Yeah, so we do have a couple questions. So one is, do I have a choice to have a balance of contract? This is a good one.
Ah,
You want to take that one, Becky, while I check out this other question here?
sure, absolutely. So, unfortunately, no. With ESI, there is no option to have a balance of contract. The reason for that is you are only paid while you are working when you are on ESI. Okay, so if you're, it sounds like you're probably a school district employee and you would be, let's say your last day is, I'm just going to use May 5th. Okay, if that is your last work day, then that would be your last day with ESI. So, what we do is instead of a balance of contract, the district will let us know what your salary is for the whole time that you're working with us, the total number of days from start to finish. And then we go ahead and spread that out evenly over the course of your contract. So your pay periods are spread out evenly so that you get paid throughout the course of your contract versus at the balance of contract at the end. So unfortunately, that's not an option.
But your paychecks are a little bigger all throughout that period of time. So, but it does take a little planning because you're used to getting that, that bigger check at the end. Yeah, so it doesn't work that way, but it's just a difference of same pay, just different planning.
That's right. So be prepared
Mhm.
for the summer, but also keep in mind that during the summer you're still going to get your pension benefit check. So that never stops. So keep that in mind as well.
Mhm. Here's a good one. So if I did 301 next year on phased retirement, would I get those monies the following year when I'm no longer on ESI and retired? Typically, if you leave, you don't get that. So what I think you're saying if you have 301 that would come to you while you're on ESI, would you get that at that point? And yes, if the district pays 301 pay as part of your contract while you're on ESI, then yes, you get that during your time with ESI. There are some circumstances with some districts that they pay it when you return to the district. I don't think that happens very often, but typically, again, if the district states that you get 301 while you're on ESI, you do get that during your contract period. So I hope that I'm answering your question the way it was asked. Um,
Yeah, it's tricky because again, every district can set their own parameters. So some will pay 301 money while you are an ESI employee, others do not. But for those districts where they do not pay 301 while you are an ESI employee, if that following year you return to the district back as a district employee, then you typically would start receiving those 301 monies again because now you are a district employee again. So
mhm.
sometimes they have different rules for retirees that are non district employees. And again, it really just depends on the district. So that's where you want to
Mhm.
double check with HR.
Right. And so
Yeah.
in that scenario, if you did not return to the district after your year, if you're planning to retire completely after that, and they don't pay that 301 while you're on ESI, then that may not I wouldn't know. That would be a question to ask the district what would happen at that point. Fortunately, we can't answer that question.
Yeah.
Um, what if the year I'm on phase retirement with ESI, I get sick and have to leave the program? What happens? It's another really good question. You guys are asking
These
some
are
great ones
great.
today. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that again would be a district specific question. As far as typically, if there's a situation where you have to take FMLA, something like that, you couldn't return that. That'd be something that we would work out with the district. Um, I what's a better way to answer that question?
Yeah, I think, really it's so circumstantial, because if it is, something where there's an illness, then we would work again with your district regarding FMLA. I know during COVID, we had folks that just were no longer comfortable teaching. They were more mature individuals and they didn't feel comfortable with COVID and what was happening with or without masks for their specific district. And so they needed to resign. Um, and you give us 2 weeks notice and we work with your district on that so that we make sure everybody is aware. And then we would just end your contract early.
Mhm,
So again, it's really circumstantial versus if it's, an illness versus, hey, I need to resign. I can no longer work. But we'll work with you. The biggest thing is to be in touch with us. We have a whole HR department that supports you while you're on with ESI. And again, you'll get more information on this when you come aboard with us if you do the Retire Rehire program. And it's really important to read through that information because there's definitely a whole team here to support you and help you. It's just a matter of making sure that you reach out to us and let us know how we can assist.
mhm. Yeah, communication is key there for sure. So,
It is. And
really good
remembering that
question.
we are your employer, so you want to call us because we are now your employer. So
Mhm,
start with us, and we'll make sure and help you, and also communicate with your employer on your behalf.
mhm. Yeah, we do work very closely together. So
Yeah,
great.
absolutely. Great questions.
All right. I think we're good for now, Becky.
Okay, well, we're going to blow up some myths, guys. So we're going to take a little break from some of this heavy stuff, and we're gonna talk about some myths that are out there. When you've been around for 20 plus years, programs change and things change about the program. And some of these myths are reasons that we find employees don't come on with us. So we really like to go through these and bust them up and make sure you know the truths about the program. So Serena, you ready to help me out with this?
I'm ready. Love this part.
All right, me too. All right. The first one, return to work programs are not legally protected.
Hmm. That is definitely a myth, Becky. It's actually part of Arizona state law, so it's totally protected.
Yes.
Mhm.
Ah, my favorite. Retire rehire hurts the pension. Isn't it like double dipping?
Ah, yes. Both of our favorites here, the double dipping. No, no, no. There's actually something called the ACR, which is the alternate contribution rate. This is something that the employer continues to pay in on your behalf at a reduced rate. So it does keep the pension healthy. So it's going to be there for many other employees coming behind you. Definitely does not hurt the pension. Keeps it very healthy. And yeah, yay ACR.
Yay, no double dipping.
No.
Ah, okay. Retirees pay a fee to ESI.
Nope, that's another myth. We do not charge you guys for coming on board with us. Actually, the employer pays our fees, so there's nothing that additional that comes out of your checks.
That's right.
Mhm.
All right. These programs hurt the district or public service entity, costing them more money while ESI gets rich.
No, no, definitely another myth. So no, the district does get to save a little bit of money because there's a little bit of reduction in the salary, and of course the ACR that I just mentioned, the contribution to ASRS. ESI, we pay our fees or we cover our costs, but we definitely don't get rich doing it. And the best part is employees get to make extra money towards the end of their careers when they need it the most. So it's definitely a triple win.
Absolutely. Yeah. You don't have to take a year off or follow the 2020 rule. So it's
Mm-mm.
awesome. All
Yes.
right. ESI sets the percent of salary.
Nope, that's another myth. And if you're paying attention to Becky, then you would know that. No. So each employer determines the percentage of salary based on their needs and special circumstances. We definitely don't make those decisions. So,
Nope.
nope.
All right. Working for a private company like ESI is just a way for my employer to lay me off.
No, no, definitely not. No, the program is specifically designed to keep the most experienced employees where they're needed the most. I mean, when you leave, you retire, and take all your years of service and knowledge with you. Definitely not what the program is meant for. We want to keep you, not let you go. So definitely
That's
not.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. All right. So thank you guys for playing. And now we're going to turn our cameras back off for a while and talk insurance because this is definitely important and we want you to pay full attention. So here we go. What about insurance? Yes, this is the biggest concern most retirees have. After all, insurance is a big expense for everyone today. A very important fact: if you leave your position and retire, you must get insurance of some kind. For example, for you school district employees, if you retire but the school year doesn't start for a couple of months, then you probably need to pay for benefits like COBRA to avoid having a gap in coverage. You know, that June September gap? It's a common mistake that we would like to help you avoid. Let's take a look at your options. All right. So while on ESI, there are four different options we want to talk about. The first is COBRA. With COBRA, everything stays the same, but you do have to pay for it. So your premium and your employer's contribution. It only lasts a maximum of 18 months. Continuing coverage is guaranteed for 18 months, but you must make your payments on time. Also, very important to note, once you waive COBRA, you can't go back and sign up. Okay, employees, you definitely want to get COBRA coverage for any gap in insurance from your retirement date to the start of new insurance. So if you choose not to get COBRA, if you choose a different option, but it won't kick in until you start working, then you want to consider COBRA for those gap months. Next is ESI. It is a change of insurance and it's good coverage with a good rates and plenty of options available. You can see the options on our website under the Employee Resources tab. Please know that if you decide to purchase ESI insurance, your coverage will begin the first day of the month following your start date with ESI. So, for example, if you start on August 5th or August 15th or August 30th, your ESI coverage will begin on September 1. Here again is where you may need to purchase Cobra for those summer months before your contract begins, especially you school employees. 2 weeks after you start working with ESI, if you purchase ESI insurance, you will get your welcome letter for ESI benefits. If you are interested in those benefits, please keep an eye out for this email as it contains important information about all of our benefit offerings as well as enrollment instructions. All right, your next option, ASRS. It can be more expensive than the others, but your coverage will be the same for as long as you are retired. Spousal plan, if you can be dependent on your spouse for coverage, if that's an option for you, that's a great option while you're on Retire Rehire. Okay, also, if you are of Medicare age, that of course is an option. Now, with Cobra and ASRS, there is a $150 subsidy for an individual person. It is complicated, and only retirees with 10 years of service or more are eligible. So, again, that's only for Cobra and ASRS. So, if you elect to purchase one of those two, there is the $150 subsidy. Okay, if you qualify. Make sure you work closely with your benefits department to understand how that subsidy works. We want to make sure that you have a safe landing and know that you are covered. When you retire and leave your employer, your insurance typically ends. Please be sure to speak with your benefits department to find out about your coverage end date once you retire, and then take the time to review all of these options and know what is best for you and your family.
All right, we're back.
We are back.
Yeah. So there was one follow up to the question earlier about what happens if I were to get sick while I was on ESI. And we mentioned FMLA. I want to be clear that if you had to take family medical leave, it so the question is, doesn't it take a full year with a new employer to qualify for FMLA benefits? And yes, it does. So there would not be benefits available through ESI for FMLA. Basically, the contract would typically end if there's a circumstance where there was an illness that might be extended, and then the employee could return. Then there would be, an opportunity, obviously, to restart a contract or have a completion of that contract. But there would be like in the case of COVID, there was situations where the district was able to extend a benefit. There may be circumstances where a district could extend that sort of benefit. So that's the reason I mentioned FMLA. If I misspoke saying it would come from ESI, that wasn't my intention. It's just that had come up before during the past couple of years, so that popped into my head. I hope I answered that correctly and clearly enough. I apologize for any confusion there.
It is confusing. I mentioned FMLA too, and that's right. In that first year, and we do have folks that stay on with us for multiple years, again, depending on the employer. So if they're in year 2 of a contract with us, then they would qualify. But yes, for folks that are just on with us for 1 year, there is no FMLA. So, and yeah, COVID made things very confusing with all of that. So my apologies too, because I probably didn't help.
No, yeah. Okay, so we did good.
All
Thank
right.
you. Apologize for
Yeah.
that.
Any other insurance questions?
Not at the moment, so we can carry on.
All righty. Here we go. Oops, if I can get my. Sorry, guys. There we go. Okay. All right. So it takes 3 teams to make this all happen if you are interested in Retire Rehire. Your current employer, ASRS, and ESI. If you have your worksheet available, you'll see this illustration on the second page. So, if you are interested in Retire Rehire, what do you do next? Step 1 is you must ask your supervisor and HR. You must be in good standing, confirm your employer's parameters, and learn about any requirements that they have and gain their approval to join Retire Rehire. Step two, you want to begin the retirement process with ASRS. We usually suggest that you start this about 3 to 6 months out from your retirement date. And again, the website is the best place to start. Don't forget, you must be retired to join ESI. And step three, you need to apply to ESI. It's not really an application. If your current employer approves, you will be good to go. This online based application is basically so that we can get a personnel file developed on you. Okay, we're going to need some information on you. It's kind of like if you work at Home Depot, you just can't walk into Lowe's and start working. Okay, we are a whole new employer. So even though you maybe have been with your current employer for many years, you are new to us. So we need to get to know you and we need some information on you. For you school district employees, you will need a valid IVP fingerprint card and any certification needed for your position. And we will run a renewed background check. I know it's kind of a pain, but we want to make sure, for the sake of safety, that we have a renewed background check on you. Now, there is a small fee for the background check. It is $16.50. That's 1650. It will be deducted from your first paycheck, but that is the only fee that you will incur with us. Once you've completed these steps, you will retire from your current employer and retire with ASRS, and you will return to work as an ESI employee with an ESI offer letter. This may be new for public service employees, but just know that for the time that you are on with ESI, you will receive an offer letter with your salary and additional information like leave, etc., included. Just a reminder, you must retire to take advantage of Retire Rehire. It's a common mistake, so please make sure that you have your retirement date with ASRS confirmed prior to starting work with ESI. Please don't forget that we are here for you. We will help you find your way through this process. Thousands of Arizona retirees have done the same over the last 22 years. Don't hesitate to contact us. All of our information is on the handout that you received. That worksheet has our email, our phone number. Please don't hesitate to reach out. We really mean it. When you call us, you get a person, no long phone trees. We're here for you. We welcome emails and our system captures them, so we have no fear about your email falling into a black hole. We take them very seriously. All right, let's see. I do hope that you feel like you know ESI a little bit better, and that you are really more knowledgeable of the return to work program with Retire Rehire, and that you know the next steps. And of course, again, last but not least, that you feel connected to our ESI family and that you know you can call us for help. All right, any final Q&A out there?
Of
Great.
course, with this group, of course we do.
Yeah, awesome.
Yes.
I love it.
Okay. I know it's a great. Okay. So guys, yeah, sometimes we get folks and there's not a whole lot of questions. So we really love it that you're so engaged. We appreciate it very much. Okay. So first one, once the governing board has approved the RetireRehire recommendation in my district is being hired by ESI simply a formality pending the submission of required documentation, et cetera. So yes, that is pretty much it. Once you're approved by the district, and assuming the district has entered your information, that's one other step, but that's pretty much just another thing for us to work with them on. Then yes, it's you're approved, you're good to go with us, and you just have to do your complete your onboarding as Becky mentioned, submitting your documents and setting up your portal, all that stuff. So yep, and signing your offer letter when it comes to you, which
Yes.
is by mail or digital. So sorry.
And start that application process with us a couple weeks out, like even a good month out is good. Because that way, if your employer has not submitted the information for your offer letter, Getting that application is going to have our Retire Rehire team reach out to your district and say, hey, so and so from your district has applied with us. Are they coming on to Retire Rehire? Are they approved? That way we know district HR, oh my goodness, they get so busy, especially toward the end of the year. So that will be a good reminder to us to reach out to them, because if you are approved, we'll want to get that information from them so that we can create your offer letter. So about a month out, go ahead and get that application started.
I'm not quite sure how to answer this one. Maybe you can help, Becky. I'm a preschool ESS teacher. I have to maintain licensing to work in this position. How do I do that with you? I'm pretty sure it's just the same process that they're currently doing. Um,
Yes.
mm,
Typically, if you would need anything signed off on by the district, they would continue to sign off on that for you. Oftentimes, that would be something through ADE. And even though you're no longer a district employee, you would still continue to get recertified the exact same way. Yeah, just the same way a teacher would if their Arizona Department of Ed certification was expiring while on with us, just renew it the same way you always have.
okay. And oh, this is a good one. Can you retire from your current district and go to a different district with ESI? And yes, that doesn't happen super often, but if the other, if the district you're moving to wants to bring you on as an ESI employee, yeah, definitely. You would just need to go through their application process, get hired on, and actually it'd probably be a benefit to them to bring you on as a retiree. You would just have to work out what your pay would be, because their percentage might be different than your district that you're moving from, what they would bring you on as a new employee. It can be just a little bit more complicated, but yeah, it does happen. Definitely
Yep,
allowed.
absolutely. Reach out to the HR of the district you're interested in and talk to them about it.
hmm And Joanne, I thank you for sending me that information. I'll follow up with you after the webinar. Appreciate that. Um, and so again, the question of the ESS, 18 hours of a PD. Yes. So to continue your certification, you would just continue doing your PD as necessary, and going through your normal certification process. Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Good questions, guys. Wow. I love it.
Great. I know. Great
Yeah.
group. We thank you so much. That's it for now. Well,
All
that's
right.
it.
Yeah, literally. So guys, we're getting to the end here. This is just our website. So this is the homepage of the website. You can see Retire Rehire with ESI. So if you click on that tab, you can get to, there's videos, there are links to one-on-one. You can set up an appointment with our Retire Rehire staff, and chat with them if you have specific questions. We are going to send a follow-up email that will have the 7 steps to joining. We talked about that application to get started. And as you can see, there are some additional steps, but nothing complicated. Please use your personal email. If you are a district employee, even a work for a municipality, we know there's some really strong firewalls out there. And sometimes when we send you follow-up emails for the next step, they end up in junk or they don't get to you because of firewalls. So please use a personal email. Check your spam if you're not seeing anything from us, because once you complete one step, we will email you with the next step, typically within 24 hours. Okay, so please keep an eye out for that. Really, really important. We could also use your help, guys. Share this program information with your colleagues, anybody that you know that's an ASRS employee. It's kind of like the best kept secret out there, and it really breaks our heart when we talk to retirees that are like, "I never even knew this was an option." And again, I think back to my mom who raised 7 kids, and that getting paid a paycheck and her retirement pension that last year of work would have been amazing. So we know sometimes it sounds too good to be true. It can be super scary, but we are here for you. Seriously, call us, talk to us. There's testimonials on our website, so please don't hesitate to reach out. It's a great program, and we're really excited to have you join us and get some extra money. Don't leave money on the table. So, please Please, whatever you need to do, ask us a million times. We're here for you.
Mhm. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed the presentation. Happy New Year. And
Yes.
yes.
All right. Take good care and have a great rest of your school year. Thank you again. Good night.
Bye.